in more ways than one.
Well, reaction and insight now from foreign policy analyst Dr. Adil Shamoo. He joins me live there in Washington. Well, we're receiving unconfirmed reports that Israeli ground forces are moving towards Gaza. Can you tell us anything about that, and do you think a ground invasion is likely?
I don't know more than you know, really, but it is possible. All the preparations indicate that there may be a ground invasion similar to the one in 2008 and they took against Gaza. I think the masters of Gaza, the Israelis, they want to punish the prisoners because it's an open prison for 1.5 million human beings. They lack medical care, they lack schooling, they lack food, they lack clean water, and that's part and parcel of what they're trying to make them submissive to their will and desire of having really one large Israeli state. They are not interested in a two-state solution, unfortunately.
Is their aim also to root out those Hamas militants? After all, that's what they tried to do 4 years ago and failed. I mean, are they likely to do that this time with that ground invasion?
I think that's an excuse, to be very honest. If you remember, in the past 2 years, Israel has been killing 1, 2, 3 to 5 Gazans every week or 2 or 3 on the pretense that there is a rocket. Yes, there are Islamist jihadists where Hamas, the main organization, cannot control them, but they have been trying to control them, as a matter of fact. They have been under discussion for a permanent ceasefire, and they have had even fights with them. So it's important to note that Hamas, the main organization, is trying to have peaceful relationship really with Israel, while their colleagues at Abu Mazen and the Palestinian Authority maybe can negotiate a peace settlement for two-state solution. I personally doubt it if Israel is ever interested in a two-state solution.
But what about the Hamas itself? Has it really got control over its militants? After all, it's still firing rockets into Israel despite the retaliation it's getting from Israel. What are they achieving by doing that?
I think, in part, to be very honest, with the Arab Spring upon us, basically, and developing well, it will behoove them to restrain themselves. Unfortunately, as you know, in any country, there are few percentage or few hundreds who will go haywire, and Hamas is trying to control them. So the proportionality of the Israeli response of continuously having, 200-300 sorties over Gaza now and killing, reports are 15, wounding somewhere between 40 to 100, among them women and children, is really not a proportional action whatsoever under any moral standards.
Let me talk about the wider regional implications. We're getting reports that 2 rockets that narrowly missed Tel Aviv were actually reportedly made by Iran. Do you think that perhaps Israel would want to involve Iran here and hold it accountable in being involved with this?
Well, I think the purpose is multifold. First, they want to kill the jihadists, those extremists. That's they have been doing a lot. But I think also Netanyahu wants to help his re-election, because in 9 weeks there is a national election. And it's really a message to Obama. 4 years ago, just the month before he took office, they invaded, without really any excuse, Gaza and killed, as you know, 1,500 and wounded over 5,000. So it's really a message to him that we will do what's best in our interest, regardless of what you say. And also it's a message to Morsi. That's what we're going to do. You control Hamas as much as you can. And finally is really what you said. It's a message to Iran that we are strong and we will respond heavily to your aberrations from what we believe to be in the interest of Israel.
But just briefly, tensions clearly going to arise between Cairo and Tel Aviv over this. Also, of course, we've got this cross-border shelling going on between Israel and Syria. It really is in a very precarious situation, isn't it, Israel? Can Tel Aviv really afford to, in effect, fight a war in two fronts and also have that added tension from Egypt?
Well, I think they're taking a risk of unpredictable dangers and territories now. And they are taking that chance, and they think they will come out ahead. That's their calculation. But I don't think it's in the interest of Israeli citizens to have a wider war with the Arab nations now, where the populace will be demanding action from their governments. I don't have faith in all Arab governments, but some of them, yes, I do have faith, not to engage militarily, but to engage in somewhat denuding Israel from the legitimacy they have had.
Dr. Adil, it's really interesting to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for sharing your thoughts on this. Live from Washington, foreign policy analyst Dr. Adil Shamoo. Thank you.